William K. Murtaugh, Witness 1, and it's Freaky Friday, and the Freaky Friday freaks are out. Now, today I'm going to talk about mocking law enforcement. For that seems to be what is going on lately with the Timmy crowd, and especially over on BitChute and Facebook. Now, as some of you might recall, recently there was a couple of FBI agents that were killed when trying to arrest a pedophile in Southeast Florida. They knocked on the door, the guy wouldn't answer the door, so they opened the door, and the guy opened fire and killed the both of them. And he also committed suicide. Now, you would think that these Q crazies who claim to go by the motto Blue Lives Matter would not have done what was done here. But again, it seems these people can't help themselves. And so they are blaming the incident in Southeast Florida on Joe Biden, and by extension, on me. But I'm not so much concerned about the Timmy Hoffa crowd blaming me. They're always going to blame me. They blame me for every single solitary thing that happens. I'm the most important thing in their lives. They can't survive one day without including me in their Q craziness. But what does bother me is when they make a joke out of the death of two dedicated, hardworking FBI agents. And that's exactly what happened. By bringing these two individuals into this wacky conspiracy theory that they were killed in order to cover up a pedophile ring that the Bidens supposedly have something to do with. You know, it shows you how idiotic this country's become when this sort of thing is allowed to fester. But perhaps not for long. If I were the people at Facebook, YouTube, BitChute, Twitter, and so forth and so on, you might want to start changing your policies on what you allow on your services. Otherwise, you might wind up in court. Because new legislation being introduced by the democratically controlled Congress is going to modify Section 230, which, strangely enough, is something that Donald Trump wanted to do. But the Democrats are going to do it for him. Maybe not exactly in the way he wanted, but they're going to do it. And they are probably going to remind the Trump supporters that this is what Trump wanted. Now, the Tech Safety Act, as it's going to be known, or something similar to it, I don't have the paperwork in front of me because I'm driving right now, basically states that social media companies are going to be civilly liable for any cyberbullying, cyber stalking, harassment that happens on the internet. Which means that when this passes, instead of having to sue the Timmy Hoffa group or people like Randy personally, I'll just sue Facebook, BitChute, and YouTube, since they refuse to put a stop to this. You know, people have been complaining to social media for years about the abuses by people like the Q crazies. And the social media companies have done next to nothing about it. They've allowed these accounts to flourish. Now, perhaps, once this new legislation comes into effect and millions of people start suing these social media providers, they will crack down on this stuff. And we will see the end of the gaslighting and harassment and defamation of ordinary people on these services. And it will stop now that these companies face the prospect of being hit in the pocketbook. It's going to be interesting to see how the technology companies handle this. There's a possibility that they're going to try and either get this legislation stopped, or they're going to take it to court and say it's unconstitutional or some nonsense. But in the end, it's legislation that is going to pass because people are fed up. And I, for one, support it because it's not censorship. You can still be for Trump and for different political issues, but what you can't do is go around falsely accusing people of being pedophiles and in being involved in the drinking of children's blood or extracting chemicals from them and being involved in satanic rituals and so on and so forth without specific and strong enough proof that it would hold up in court in the event you're sued for defamation and so on and so forth. It would be nice if there was criminal liability tied to this stuff, but that's for another day. But for right now, people can take these high-tech companies to court. And now that the settlements could be in the millions of dollars, you're going to see these ambulance-chasing lawyers get involved because that's where the money's at. And it's going to be like Morgan and Morgan getting up there and saying that no cost to you until we win. And at the very minimum, these companies are going to settle for something. And one of the conditions of the settlement is that the content that caused the lawsuit in the first place will be taken off the internet, which is the goal to begin with. So this is going to be a very powerful weapon for those of us who have been the victims of this nonsense for decades, and an income and revenue opportunity for lawyers. Because now they can get involved in something that they're familiar with. Companies with deep pockets that will weigh the cost of fighting over the cost of settling, especially when part of the settlement would be to take the people off the air and disavow their actions. And so, there's that optimism. So, we will be looking forward to see how that turns out. Now, getting on to the subject today of the Timmy Hoffa group and this thing with mocking law enforcement. This primarily was another hit piece against me. I don't know what the hell I had to do with this FBI incident in Southeast Florida, but I did note something rather interesting in the printed article that followed the video that was put up. And that is that Timmy Hoffa's group is admitting that I am working with the FBI. They are not denying it. They know full well that I am working with the FBI as a material witness into the criminal conduct of these people. Because they are committing crimes. They are violating the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act because they are committing wire fraud. They are falsifying information and receiving money from it. They're making money off of lies. They are deceiving the public out of money by claiming that they're part of a task force or a high command that is supposedly fighting child trafficking, child pornography, satanic rituals, and the whole gamut. And they're doing no such thing. All they're doing is sitting in their basements making this stuff up out of thin air. They have no affiliation at all with the United States government or anybody prominent in the former President Trump's administration. Nobody knows who these people are. They're blips. They're part of the QAnon nut squad. And the cowardly Republican Party is going along with this stuff. They may not believe any of it, but they need the votes, and so they're just going to sit back and allow these people to run roughshod over innocent people's lives. That may cost them in 2022, as a lot of people are getting pissed off. But, some people have to learn their lessons the hard way. Actions have consequences, and through the court system and through the ballot box, these consequences are going to come to light. Now, Dominion got caught up in this with all these lies about their voting machines. And so they said, fine, we're going to sue you people out of existence. If you want to sit there and tell lies about our company, then you're going to pay and pay dearly because you're driving us out of business. So the big lie is going to cost people like Rudy Giuliani and Fox News a boatload of money. These people just won't listen. And so they're going to continue this nonsense. They're going to go to court and they're going to find themselves paying out money. Because defamation can't be hidden by saying, well, you can't believe us. We're not necessarily telling the truth. Because you're admitting that you're liars. You're admitting you're defaming Dominion. There's no... can't think of the word, but disclaimer. Here we go. You get old and your memory gets kind of fogged up. But there's no disclaimer saying that this is opinion and not truth. And even if it was opinion and not truth, there is still liability there for speaking something you know is a lie. That's defamation. When you get out there and say something is true, you better be able to prove it. And if you can't prove it, you better have a fat wallet. As the general public becomes more and more aware of just how dangerous lies are on the interstate or on the internet, it's going to be a lot easier to win defamation lawsuits. Because the public is going to recognize that it can be them next. That somebody can lie about them, and so on and so forth. You see commercials every day, more frequently now, for reputation management companies that go in and say that they can help you with your reputation by burying negative results under a bunch of searches. But if somebody wants to find out something about you hard enough, that reputation management ain't going to be worth 2 cents. So I don't know if that's going to work. I can't afford it anyway. That's thousands of dollars just to modify a search engine. It's kind of stupid, especially since the damage has been done already. Because every day, without proof, these people are going around calling a bunch of people pedophiles, child traffickers, kidnappers, and that's all their nonsense. And they do not care that they are lying. They know they're lying. They've always known they're lying, but they don't care. They have the power to lie. Now, this little thing came up on the individual that claims they are the creator of the Pentagon Pedophile Task Force and are involved in the high command and own Timmy Hoffa's blog. That fact-checking is just another word for censorship. Really. We are not censoring what you say. We are just proving that what you're saying is a lie. See, why are these people afraid of fact checking, of people looking for proof of what they say. Now, when people like Snopes fact check, they print the truth. They don't always say it's false. They say, yeah, this is true. This is why it's true. They don't say everything is false. But the Q crazies claim that they are being censored because their lies are being exposed. That's the weirdest excuse I ever heard. Oh, I'm being censored because I'm telling lies. It's amazing. And they get away with it because they feel you people are stupid, that you're stupid enough to believe their lies. And you're stupid enough to believe the claims of censorship that these people make. And so they're playing you for a fool. They figure since you don't like Biden and since you love the Republican Party and you love Trump and you're for making abortions illegal and this, that, and the other thing, that everything that counters their claims is a lie. And that they're being censored. And that's stupid. They can't defend themselves, so they have to come up with excuses. That's how these people work. It's sad, really, that so many people believe them. Millions of people believe them. But that's how Hitler came to power, because millions of people believed him too. And it was not a majority of the people of the country. It was just enough to overthrow the legitimate government of Germany and install a dictator. And we came close to doing that this year. And we're not out of the woods yet. These people are still determined to overthrow the government of the United States. And the Timmy Hoffa group is right in there helping them. They should be charged with a sedition right along with the people that stormed the Capitol, because they're all in the same club. They're all drumming out the same propaganda, the same lies, and doing the same harm. And they are rejoicing in the fact that cops were killed. They don't care. They use the cops as part of their propaganda machine, part of their joke. They mocked the policeman that was killed in the D.C. insurrection by saying the whole thing was a fake. It's a false flag. It was a movie production. Where's the dead cop if it's a movie production? Why can't we see him? You know, the Facebook page of this one woman has got some of the dumbest conspiracy theories I've ever seen in my life, and I've seen a lot of them. I used to listen to a radio show that promoted these theories basically as for entertainment purposes, but dumb theories nonetheless. And it's astonishing. But perhaps now, with this pending legislation coming out, these lies will stop, or at least will be trounced down into a minimum once these high-tech companies are held liable for the postings of their subscribers. You know, we may see a tightening up of the rules by these tech companies under what can and cannot be posted and what is going to happen to get you kicked off the system. You know, and what privileges may be taken away from you because they don't want to lose money. You know, they don't care what you say. What they care about is the money they make off of what you say. And if you're saying something that's going to lose them money, then they're not going to allow you to say it. So, if I were the haters and the liars of the world that are on social media, you may start packing because you're going to be evicted sooner than you think. This is William K. Murtaugh, Witness 1. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification icon, and stay tuned. More to come. And have a good one.